Paul Neuf präsentiert.
Hello everybody, my name is Reavis Mitchell. I am CTO and co-founder of a company called BKE LLC, and we make this device right here. It's called a Beat Thang, and what it is it's a mobile production device. So you can basically record your own sounds in here. It ships with its own sounds, and you can edit those sounds. You can edit waveforms. You can build kits out of those samples. You can build instruments. You can take those instruments and then you can build patterns out of those instruments. If you look at the back panel, then you notice there are 2 SD card slots. Each one of those can give you up to 16 gigs of SD storage, secure digital. There's also USB type A and B ports. This will allow you to interface to your computer as well as plug in a USB thumb drive. And we can also use plug and play USB controllers. Also there's MIDI via DIN as well as MIDI via USB. Foot switch, dual headphones with dual volume so that you can do collaborative work. Balanced outputs. You take this in a real studio, full-blown studio, bring it up, it'll sound great. Wonderful A to D conversion on the input and the output. Also there's a Neutrik connection. This allows you to have a stereo input, line level, and also XLR input for microphones. Notice there's also phantom power input. So very powerful machine, very powerful back panel. If you notice, right off the top, I've unplugged it, but it's still on. The reason we can do this is because we have an internal lithium-ion battery. And it'll do this for about 3 hours, roughly, depending on your illumination. You have different illumination levels, you know, so if you're in a dark club or if you're in a place we can turn all the lights out, you'll still be able to use this machine. Every single button is dedicated. Every single button is backlit. So right when you buy it, immediately there are all these sounds on board. You got 3,000 samples right off the top. But you can also expand this. You can load your own samples, or you can go to our library and purchase new samples. And specifically for the European market, we're an American-based company, so we know hip-hop really well, we know dance music really well, but specifically for the European market, we created these for dubstep, for house. We have vintage drum machines. We also have EDM injection. And we're getting ready to release version 1.3.0, which gives you the ability to connect this to your Mac or PC and drag and drop files back and forth in a librarian. So enough talk, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to build a pattern and a couple of little tricks that you can do with the device. So I have a pattern in, and these are different sounds that we're using that are either a combination of stock sounds or a combination of the EDM sounds. Right now we're listening to these, Transmatic, combined with the onboard sounds. So I'm just going to take a few and I'm going to do a new pattern. And I'm going to select the tempo. And I can either select the tempo or I can tap my tempo with the tap tempo button. So I have a tempo that I like. And I'm going to load in a kit. Notice that a browser comes up. Real simple, easy browser, easy to get around on. And I'm going to just load a kit randomly, something that I know will work. Yep. I like that one. So I'm going to get a metronome going, and I'm going to set the bar length and set the quantize. Defaults to 16 at 4 bars, and I'm going to just start a pattern. Got a little misstep in there. I can go back. If I just want to pull out the last measure, then I can go in and pull out the last measure, no problem. Or I can undo and get back to the top. Notice I'm auditioning sounds without actually recording the sound. But when I'm ready to record, I just go right back in. Now that's just my first track. I can play with some other sounds here. I like it. I'm gonna put it down. Now that's just one track. I have infinite layers on that same track. So basically you gotta look at tracks in a different way. A track is something you wanna turn on or turn off. It's a different kit basically. So I'm gonna go to the next track. I'm gonna pull up a new kit. Load that in. I like that. And I'm gonna go to my next track. And it's not just drums, synths also, synths and bass sounds. So let's find some bass. Some deep. Now bass is in. Now let's get some synths up. Notice I got a pitch wheel on the side. I've also got a modulation wheel on the side. And with that pitch and modulation wheel, I can control pitch per track, or I can control pitch globally. So I'm gonna go to my systems menu, and I'm gonna make sure my pitch is set up per track. Now I'm gonna put that down. There we go. I'm gonna go back in and add some percussion. Now I've got this browser that allows me to easily manage sounds, so I'm gonna go back into my factory sounds. And it's easy to combine factory sounds with the expansion sounds. Now so far we've had a 4-bar loop. I can go back in and I can tell it to make this track an 8-bar loop. So you have different bar lengths. So if I want a human feel, I can turn the quantize off just for this track. I like that. So I'm gonna cycle back to the top. Ready? And. And it's back in. Now remember that global pitch I told you about. Now we're gonna go back to the global pitch. And quantize can be off, or you can quantize after the fact. If I decide I want a little tighter sound, then I can turn the quantization back on that last track. Now listen how the percussion tightens up. Or I can go back human. Non-destructive editing. Everything is totally non-destructive. out, pitch in the global mode. I've assigned my pitch parameters globally. Now look what I can do. And effects. So now we have the ability to do all of this live and on the fly. And that's just 5 tracks. So we got 16 tracks. So I could do this every 5 tracks and bring in all kinds of different sounds, different things, and solo after the fact. Go back to my first track if I want to solo. Bring my second track back in if I want to. Still work the pitch. And then solo out. Perfect performance piece. You know what I'm saying? So that's 5 tracks. It's real easy. It's real straightforward. Once again, I'm Reavis Mitchell. The company is BKE Tech, and this is the Beat Thang. Dankeschön. Oh, and one more thing. Our booth is right around the corner, so if you want to come by, get some literature, read up a little bit about it, you know, kind of listen to some of the expansion sounds, please feel free. We're right around the corner. BKE Tech. Thank you.